hello there. Yes, turned out really freezing again. Anyway, we wake up this morning with the, well, I know, long expected news, I suppose one might say, of Henry Kissinger dying. And whilst a lot of people out there aren't going to be very unhappy about his demise, there was certainly certain things you can take away from him that might have been a good idea. The notion that only Nixon could go to China is something perhaps that various of our leaders might want to take on board. Anyway, luckily we still have the wise and the good to guide us forwards. And today, because it's very much doing the rounds on Twitter, I thought we'd look at Matt Goodwin, who is another one of those desperately wise people, a bit like Douglas Murray, who's undoubtedly always right about everything. And yes, he's decided to react to being asked exactly what woke means, because of course this is often used as a pejorative term. The weather's a bit woke today, and that woke dog of yours did a woke thing on the pavement, all those kind of things. So anyway, he's bravely stuck his head out the parapet, and I think it's well worth unpacking exactly what he says. Not that it's garbage, I understand, because it's Matt Goodwin, it couldn't possibly be. So anyway, let's have a look. Having been challenged, please define woke, Mr. Goodwin, a couple of days ago, he replied with, woke, notice the inverted commas, like it, is a pseudo-religious belief system which views minority groups as sacred. Okay then. Well, you see, instantaneously you have a problem with that, because pseudo-religious, well, any belief system is pseudo-religious, isn't it? Science might be argued as a pseudo-religious belief system. Well, yes, it's fine saying the Big Bang arrived, but what came before, eh? You can't answer that, it must have been God. Yeah, you see, that's exactly it. Views minority groups as sacred, and we come to a screeching halt right there, don't we? Because, of course, if anything, people who wouldn't describe themselves as woke in any way do regard the views of minority groups as sacred. Think about all those 10-foot libertarians out there whose solo views are sacred. It's all about the individual, isn't it? Something Spock had to die probably quite a few times to learn, yes. Is hostile towards the majority. Again, think about all those commentators out there, like Matt Goodwin, where he makes his living, let's face it, who snub any notion of majority view. Should we renationalise railways? Yes. Gonna happen? Nope. Yes, subordinates individual rights behind fixed groups, racial, sexual, gender identities. Yes, this, you see, is where the rub comes, isn't it? This is where we get it. So individual rights, my individual rights are sacred, yours aren't, of course, behind fixed group identities, which is fine, but that's always what's been thrown. But if you look at people like old Dougie Murray et al., what they tend to do actually is indeed have fixed racial groups, because white people are just so brilliant, aren't they, in terms of, the brain cells. I mean, just think back to the spinning Jenny, weren't we superb, compared to, the Asians are good at maths, granted, well, not all of them, obviously, not Bangladeshis, but, you understand me, we end up with these little groups of people which are individually labelled. We've seen a lot of that in the last few weeks in terms of good demonstrators and bad demonstrators. So again, it doesn't really quite work. Opposes the objective scientific method in favour of subjective lived experience. Yes, you see, it's a little pop at, what we might regard as a sort of feminism. But of course, again, any cursory look at GB News will have all of these people comprehensively frothing at the mouth and melting down, because it's not scientific, is it? There's no such thing. Yes, these are people who will cheer that trans people are banned from playing chess in certain groups, because you can think about that, yeah? Oh my God, imagine, right, the major superiority of the male brain in chess compared to how useless women are, and therefore they can't possibly, they have to play chess with the birth certificate that they have. And these people will think that that's a good idea. No, because, of course, it's just the science, isn't it? Yes. In favour of subjective lived experience. Yes, indeed. Because your experience, of course, as a poor person in their world, isn't real. And again, that's what it comes down to. It's very much this superior they are experience, doesn't it? And expanded speech codes, hate, racism, etc. And as I've said many times here, of course, Matt Goodwin et al., merely using the word woke is part of that expanded speech code, whereby certain words have certain meanings. Think about urban music. Yeah. Think about Muslim radicals. Think about extremist. Think about all those words that they use in the most pejorative way imaginable, and it's always just about certain groups of people and not other groups of people, because they have hierarchies of groups, don't they? A bit like the wokeists do, yes, to erode free speech. And there you have, of course, the ultimate fallback position, in the sense that, well, I'm allowed to spout all of this nonsense because it's my free speech. What about groups of people on the streets suggesting other things? Oh no, they're intimidating, they are. Yeah, it's fine for me to go on TV and spout loads of racist, sexist, homophobic rubbish, but you can't do it on the streets. We'll have to get the boys in blue out with their batons, yes. And try and silence critics in the name of social justice. Yes, I mean, it's, again, exactly what these people do. Yeah, you can't say that because it might hurt somebody's feelings. You can't call for peace in Gaza. Think of the poor residents of North London. They're sitting at home cowering at that. Yeah. Anyway, that was vitriolic, wasn't it? Anyway, do enjoy. I have the feeling that Matt Goodwin won't be expanding on this whatsoever. You can enjoy the comments if you care to look up his original one. They're quite a laugh. Anyway, do have a lovely Thursday. Do stay warm. Pussycat is in, and very sensibly so, I think.